up, guys? Welcome to a quick summaries video. For those of you who don't know what this channel is about, I do have an introduction video, so you can go and check that out if you so choose. Basically, this channel is not a review channel, and it is chock full of spoilers. It's kind of the entire point. So now that you have that information, proceed with caution. If it's not what you're hoping for, sorry. If it's exactly what you're wanting though, welcome. You're in the right place. Today's video we're talking about Pulp Fiction, which is a 1994 Quentin Tarantino movie starring John Travolta, Samuel L. Jackson, Bruce Willis, and Uma Thurman. The genre of Pulp Fiction consisted of graphic violence and strong, punchy, dynamic dialogue. And this is actually what makes the movie Pulp Fiction so influential and popular and widely quoted, because up until its release, movies didn't really feature a lot of unnecessary graphic violence, and the dialogue was well written and strong, and it propelled the story along. Since it is based off of a book genre, the story unfolds in a series of chapters, but they bounce back and forth between time and space. They don't unfold chronologically. I would say that this movie is about the rise and fall of a crime boss named Marcellus Wallace. This is only indirect though, so if you were in a casual conversation about Pulp Fiction and you said, yeah, that's a movie about the rise and fall of Marcellus Wallace, right? People might have to stop and think about that for a second, because the story really unfolds through the eyes of Marcellus Wallace's hitmen, Jules and Vince, and a boxer named Butch. We don't see Marcellus Wallace on screen that much, and his face isn't even revealed until the end. And so his role as the main character central to the story isn't immediately clear. But let me explain why I believe that this movie is about Marcellus Wallace. The first time we hear about Marcellus Wallace is when his hitmen Jules and Vince are in the car on their way to take care of a former business partner of Marcellus Wallace. This business partner named Brett stole a very important suitcase belonging to Marcellus Wallace, and he wanted it back, plus interest. Interest being Brett's life, obviously. And so anyway, they're in a car just casually talking, and Jules mentions that Marcellus Wallace threw a man named Antoine out of a window because he gave his wife Mia a foot massage. To that, Vincent responds that he's supposed to take Mia out as per Marcellus Wallace's orders, and just show her around town, do whatever she wants to do while Marcellus is out of town. And the reactions to this, whenever he tells people that he's supposed to be taking Marcellus Wallace's wife out, alert us that Vincent should be cautious. They alert us to Marcellus Wallace's the fear that he instills in his power and his influence, and that Vince should be very cautious when he takes Mia out, because one wrong stupid move and he will very much regret it. Next, Vincent and Jules take the briefcase and their informant, and they're in the car and they're talking, and Vincent accidentally shoots and kills the informant named Marvin. And so they call up Marcellus and explain what happened, and Marcellus sends the best cleaner in the business to take care of the incident, because you can imagine shooting somebody point blank in a car makes a huge mess. You can't just pour a little OxyClean on it and it fixes it right up. So Marcellus Wallace has the best in the biz come and clean it, which also shows just how influential he is, that he has these people in his pocket, like on retainer, ready to go for circumstances just like this. Not a typical Tuesday, right? So the next time that we see Marcellus Wallace, he is paying a man named Butch, who's a boxer, to throw his next fight. This right here is Marcellus Wallace's rise. He has two hitmen in his pocket taking care of business. He has Butch, who's gonna win him a bunch of money. What else? You know, like what else could a crime boss want? We're further alerted to his peak when Vince is taking Mia out on the town, and she overdoses on cocaine. And so Vince doesn't really have anywhere to go, so he calls his drug dealer named Lance. He's like, hey Lance, I have this dying woman, I need you to help. And Lance is like, no, please don't bring that here. Like, I can't have that in my house. Like, please do not. And to that, Vincent says, well, this is Marcellus Wallace's wife, so if you don't help, I'm going to be forced to tell him that you didn't, and it's probably going to be you who's dead next. So once Lance realizes that this is Marcellus Wallace's wife, like once he realizes who this person is to Marcellus Wallace, he obliges. He was so reluctant at first, he learns that it's Marcellus Wallace's wife, and he's like, okay, like, yeah, I've got to help, even though I would never do this on any other circumstance. So that's Marcellus's rise. His fall is when Butch does not throw his fight, okay? He bets on himself, he wins, and he plans to take all of his winning money and skip town. And on his way to skip town, he runs into Marcellus Wallace, literally, with his car. And so, once they recover from, A, being run over, and B, being in a car accident, Butch and Marcellus break into a fight, and they stumble into this business where they get taken hostage and tortured, and Marcellus gets taken to another room where he is raped. And in a situation like that, the person that this is happening to is powerless, they're not in control, they're having a sort of power asserted over themselves, and they just can't control a situation. And this is not a position that Marcellus Wallace is used to being in. He's used to being the one on top of the situation, like in control, like, asserting his own power and people being fearful of him. We see this shift in his character and in his position in the world, where he has gone from being a feared, powerful crime boss to from having his whole ego and identity and pride and like all of these things shattered, because it's a very traumatizing, psychologically distressing event. And anyway, Butch has the opportunity to escape, and he comes back and he saves Marcellus, and he asks, well, what about us now? Are we cool? And Marcellus says, there is no us, but we're cool. Leave town, don't ever come back, and don't tell anybody about this. And that further illustrates Marcellus's downfall. He's been wanting to kill Butch for betraying him, and he had every intention of having Butch dead, but he's no longer powerful or in control or able to assert himself over Butch, which shows his downfall as a crime boss. And that's really where the movie ends. And so maybe hopefully now you see like why I would say that Pulp Fiction is about the rise and fall of Marcellus Wallace, even though he's rarely on scene. He's only ever talked about and characterized. Because everything that happens in the movie is for Marcellus Wallace, or to Marcellus Wallace, or because of Marcellus Wallace. He's the one who's actually propelling the story along, and everything is revolving around him, even though he might operate more in the shadows. Some notable scenes you need to be aware of are at Brett's apartment, which is the former business partner. You get some A+ Samuel L. Jackson quotes while they're at Brett's apartment. And this thing happens where they should have, like Jules and Vincent should have died, but Jules believes that it was divine intervention, and so he decides right then and there to quit the business and quit being a hitman and go clean. Leading up to that scene is also an iconic moment where Samuel L. Jackson and John Travolta are talking about the philosophy of foot massages, whether or not they're sexual, because Antoine got thrown out of a window, but Jules gives his mom a foot massage. It's a really funny scene, very iconic, a good example of the dynamic dialogue. And another scene that you should know about is the dancing scene where John Travolta and Uma Thurman are out and they're dancing, and every movie is actually copied exactly from this 1960s movie called 8 1/2, but it inspired that Fall Out Boy song we all know and love, Uma Thurman. Another good scene you should know about is the diner scene. It opens the movie and it closes the movie, and it has a burglary involved in which Jules actually ends up saving the day after he's gone straight. But in the interest of keeping this video short, since this is a 2.5 hour long movie, it's hard to keep it super condensed. I did my very best, but in order to keep this even shorter, I'm going to put some fun facts and some quotes down in the description. Then you can nose through them if you want. That way, when you're in a conversation about Pulp Fiction and somebody pulls out a reference, you can respond like a Pavlovian dog with, an appropriate quote or some fun fact, and at least you'll sound like you know what you're talking about. If you liked what you saw, please physically manifest it with a like and subscribe, and leave a comment down below also and tell me what you liked, what you didn't like, and maybe tell me a movie you'd like for me to unpack for you next time. I'll see you here, same time, same place, I guess. Be here or be square,